British politics has hit a new low in the art of pretending to do something while actually doing nothing. Welcome to the age of one in, one out, the immigration policy so groundbreaking it managed to deport absolutely no one in its first 2 tries. Yes, 2 planes have already taken off under Starmer's grand Franco-British handshake deal, and both were emptier than Rishi Sunak's charisma. Congratulations, Britain. You've just invented the ghost airline. Let's start with Labour. Keir Starmer wanted to prove he's serious about borders, so he signed a deal with Macron in July. The photo op was beautiful. 2 leaders grinning, shaking hands, pretending they'd solved a problem that has defied governments for decades. But once the cameras turned off, reality arrived. The courts blocked the first deportee, lawyers swarmed the runway, and the only thing flying to France was taxpayers' money. This is Labour's big plan. Spend millions to charter planes that fly as empty as their promises. They campaigned on competence, and instead we got competence cosplay. Starmer's government looks less like grown-ups in charge and more like Year 9s running a model United Nations with fake passports. Now the Conservatives, Kemi Badenoch and Chris Philp are howling from the sidelines like wolves circling carrion. Badenoch smirks, "We told you so." Philp demands we repeal the Human Rights Act because apparently human rights are the real reason planes are empty. No, Chris, the reason planes are empty is because your party had 14 years to fix this and did absolutely nothing but build the world's largest backlog. You left Britain with hotel bills ballooning into billions, a system slower than dial-up internet, and more slogans than solutions. You don't get to cry sabotage now. You broke the machine before Labour inherited it. And then there's Nigel Farage, the eternal pub prophet, pint in hand, screaming that even if the scheme worked perfectly, it's still a net gain for the so-called illegals. He's not entirely wrong. This deal does mean Britain accepts 1 asylum seeker from France for every migrant returned. But Farage doesn't mention the obvious. The numbers crossing the channel are in the thousands. 1 for 1 is not a solution. It's a magic trick designed for headlines. It's shuffling chairs on the Titanic while the water pours in. Nigel has no plan beyond shouting, "Send them back," into the Wetherspoons wallpaper. He thrives on anger, not answers. Here's the truth both sides avoid. No deportation scheme will ever work if the boats are allowed to leave France in the first place. Once a migrant steps into British waters, the legal system engages. Judges get involved, appeals pile up, lawyers feast, flights get blocked, human rights obligations kick in. At that point, it doesn't matter who's in charge, Starmer, Sunak, Thatcher's ghost, or Farage himself. You are stuck in the same trap. The only effective plan would be stopping boats from leaving French shores or intercepting them before they cross the median line. Everything else is theatre. Everything else is headlines with no substance. And make no mistake, both governments love the theatre. France shrugs and waves goodbye to the dinghies, knowing Britain will inherit the problem. Britain points fingers at France, then books empty flights to look tough for domestic audiences. Both sides win in the blame game, neither side actually wins on policy. Meanwhile, the Home Office insists deportations will resume as soon as possible. Translation, we'll keep saying this until you stop asking. Liz Kendall tells us it's just 1 case. The scheme is intact. Sure, and I suppose the Titanic was intact after the iceberg too. This is political gaslighting on an industrial scale. They feed us headlines about toughness while the reality is a system paralysed by legal loopholes, human rights obligations and bureaucratic incompetence so deep you could drown in it. Let's call it what it is. Britain is not serious about border control. The left pretends you can mix compassion with control. The right pretends toughness solves everything, and neither side has the courage to admit the ugly reality. Unless you stop boats at the French end, you will never stop this. The channel is too small, the legal system too complex, and the smugglers too smart. Until there's political will in Paris to stop departures, everything Britain does is posturing. So where are we? Labour floundering, Tories jeering, Farage ranting, lawyers billing, courts blocking, flights flying empty, and the public left footing the bill for a policy that cannot work. Britain doesn't need more slogans, it doesn't need more ghost flights, it needs honesty, and honesty looks like this. If you can't stop the boats leaving, you can't stop them coming here. End of story. This is not left, this is not right, this is real. And the real story is that Britain's immigration policy is built on fantasy, France is happy to let us drown in it, and both sides of Westminster are more interested in winning headlines than winning solutions. Until that changes, expect more empty planes, more wasted money, and more political theatre dressed up as border control.